With that, we bring in Erika Donalds, chair of the America First Policy Institute's Center for Education Opportunity. She is attending this executive order signing soon. Erika, great to have you back on the program. Tell us what to expect in this executive order exactly and what it will really mean for people.
This greatly anticipated reform and promise kept by President Trump through the mandate that he was given by the American people will start the process of eliminating the Department of Education. But of course, as he has said and has been reported, and Linda McMahon promised to work with Congress for that final elimination. However, everything that can be done without congressional approval will be done under this executive order. We heard Biden's White House actually say that only 336 of the over 4,000 employees in the Department of Education were performing functions that congressional approval required or implied. So there's a lot more to be cut than even was done last week.
So here's some of the pushback as the firings began. This is on March 14th at a rally in D.C. Watch.
Say that Trump disrespects workers, that hardly suffices.
I fear that students with different colors of skin will not be heard when they're screaming within.
It is about dismantling public education so that children cannot get what they deserve.
Okay, so that is the question. Are children getting what they deserve? $3 trillion have been spent on education by the federal government since 1979 when this agency was created. And what have they gotten for the $3 trillion is declining test scores since 1979. Let's put these up on the screen, and you can tell us what you think about this, Erika. You know, math proficiency, just to name one, 39%. That's 2 points lower than it was just back in 2019. So where did all this money go?
Well, exactly. I can tell you where it went because there's one thing that has gone up in education, and that's spending and a bloated bureaucracy. Not only has the federal Department of Education grown exponentially over these 45 years of its existence, but departments of education in our states, which are required to comply with these federal mandates, as well as non-teaching positions throughout our schools in this country. So while students have stagnated, they have not received the benefit of these funds as measured by test scores and by student achievement. Instead, it is a jobs program, and it is a program that is funding individuals who are many times members of unions instead of benefiting the students that the taxpayers are certainly willing to do.
Yeah. So let's play this from Ronald Reagan, because this idea goes way back. And then I want to ask you about how excellence will be measured. Watch this.
The budget plan I submit to you on February 8th will realize major savings by dismantling the Departments of Energy and Education and by eliminating ineffective subsidies for business.
So we know that there's a portrait of Ronald Reagan hanging in the Oval Office these days. But I think the real question is, how do we make sure that we measure merit and excellence in the country and reward it in these school systems under the state oversight?
Well, accountability has to lie at the local level, and the most local accountability being with parents. The reason why Randy Weingarten and the teachers union is so upset about this is because they know that per the executive order already signed by the president, some of this money is going to be put in the hands of parents to expand school choice in states that have already implemented those programs. And when parents have the money to choose, they often, many times, choose schools that are not unionized, that are competing for their business, and that are outperforming their public school counterparts. That is why they're in opposition to this. Parents need to be the ones who are measuring excellence of their schools, accountability through transparency. And when states have responsibility for education and the federal government is out of it, their voters, whether blue or red, will be able to hold those folks accountable for the performance or lack thereof that they're seeing.
So how quickly, I know we said at the top of this segment that this will not disband the Department of Education, but it will start the process that will be done by Congress, as Edward Lawrence reported. What's the time frame on this? How quickly will we see that legislation? How quickly will we see this agency disappear?
Well, there's already been legislation filed in both the House and the Senate to dismantle the Department of Education. However, I do believe it's going to be a piecemeal process. It may take 2 years. It may take all 4 years. Wow. But Congress does need to participate in this. And as you know, we do need 60 votes in the Senate from Democrats. So there will need to be some negotiation going on. However, there are things that the Department of Education does that many Democrats do not agree with. There are levels of accountability. And perhaps there are some blue states that are willing to take on the responsibility with the funding for meeting the needs of students with disabilities and low-income students in their states. So I think it remains to be seen how it gets done, but it will get done. It's been a promise of the president, and I believe he's going to be able to make it happen.
All right. It's going to take a little while, it sounds like, but we'll be watching. Erika, thank you. It's good to see you.